Sounds good.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is Friday at noon, and we are here at the Mechanics Chess Social. This is a show where we talk to personalities in the chess world and just ask them just about what's going on in their lives and what they think. And I'm really excited today because we have as our very special guest Lauren Goodkind. So, Lauren, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, I mean, you're definitely deep in the chess community in the Bay Area. I remember several years ago, it was like over 8 years ago, when I started my own chess organization. I remember actually reaching out to you because I saw that you were, a coach in the community, and I mean, so you've been coaching like ever since, at least 10 years. You probably go back even further than that as a player and coach. Tell us kind of like how you started. Were you a scholastic player? When did you start playing? And then, when did you start coaching chess?
That's a great question. So I learned the game when I was 8 years old from my mom. And my mom, she's just a casual chess player. And at that time, I didn't take chess that seriously. And I would just play chess from time to time. And so like chess, it was just like checkers or Monopoly. So it was fun. Like I didn't know anything. I didn't know too much about strategy. So I just remember like when I was 8 or 9, I remember like playing chess with my babysitter, and it was really interesting. And I remember like for the very first move, I would move like the rook pawn up 2 spaces, and of course like that's not a good move because you have to control the center. But I don't know too much about strategy, and then I remember once I got into 5th grade, I remember that one of the teachers at the school, she really liked playing chess, and so she started a chess club. And I decided like, hey, I like playing chess. So I remember just going to the chess club. But what happened was like there wasn't enough interest in the chess club. So I just remember, I think like maybe 1 month into the chess club, the chess club closed down. So because
was this at your school? Was this at the school? Yeah.
Yes, and again, I grew up in Menlo Park, California. So yeah, this is the San Francisco Bay Area. So I just remember like the chess club closed down, and this was in 5th grade. So because of that, again, I didn't really take chess that seriously. I did not know anything about the United States Chess Federation at that point. So it's like, okay, fine.
How did you get exposed to it then? Because, you started playing tournaments and started doing things. How did you get introduced to competitive play?
So time moved forward. So when I was 15, so this is when I was in high school, I started to play chess with my sister at home, like all the time. I don't know how that happened.
Now, when you first learned chess, did your sister also take to it, or did you sort of learn first and then she took it after?
No, I think we learned chess at the same time, but again, at that time, like I didn't take it that seriously. Like I really enjoyed like playing other board games,
Sure.
like Monopoly or checkers, and it was funny. I just remember like my mom, she's a casual chess player, and I just remember that she thought that stalemate was checkmate. So I just remember that when I was 8 years old, I remember like playing, and I remember like I stalemated my mom. But I thought at that time it was
that you
checkmate.
won.
I didn't know like all the rules, but again I didn't take it that seriously. But moving forward, like once I got into high school at age 15, again, I just started to play chess all the time with my sister at home, and I don't know. My dad, he noticed, and my dad, he doesn't play chess at all, but he noticed like, hey, you guys are playing chess like all the time. It's like maybe you guys should go to a chess club. So we said like, okay, yeah, that would be fun. So our very first chess club was the Fremont Chess Club across the bay.
Uh-huh.
And that's when we started to play in tournaments. And that's how I became a United States Chess Federation member.
And then you just got hooked. So you started playing tournaments, and then you just started playing more of them. And did your sister also play with you? So would you go to tournaments together and start playing?
Right. So the history is I don't think, if I remember correctly, I went to the Fremont Chess Club, but I don't think my sister went. But I remember that. What happened? I think the Fremont Chess Club, it closed down. I don't really remember why. And then we had to go find another chess club. And so we found the Burlingame Chess Club.
Right.
And the Burlingame Chess Club, it doesn't exist right now, but I remember after the Fremont Chess Club, my dad took me and my sister to the Burlingame Chess Club to continue to play chess. And I just got, like, it was just so much fun. So that's how I got started.
I sort of had a similar background for me, it was the Colty Chess Club. When I first started, I started when I was 12. And then, when I started playing and wanted to play more competitively, I was looking for a somewhere to play. And I know there's, a U.S. Chess Federation where you can play for, ratings. And then I found the Colty Chess Club in Campbell. And then that's really what got me hooked. It was once a week, Thursday nights. I mean, it's still Thursday nights, to this day. Was Burlingame the same way? Was it like once a week rated game?
It was once a week. It was once a week, and it was every Thursday night. And it was really fun because I just looked forward to going there once a week. And they would have chess tournaments. So oftentimes the tournaments would be maybe 5 rounds, 6 rounds, or I think in December it was 7 rounds, and it was one game per week. And I just remember the time control. I believe it was 2 hours per person, so
Sure.
it was a slow game, but it was fun. I remember there was 2 sections.
Mm-hmm.
There was I think there was a under 1600 section, and then there was another section above 1600, and it was fun. It was people of all ages that played there. So it was fun. I got to meet some very interesting people.
So you were a competitive player, but you're very, very well known for being an author and a coach. So at what point did you sort of transition from being someone that just enjoys playing competitively to spending a lot of time coaching, and sort of what came first? Were you an author and then a coach, or were you coach first and then decided to write books?
So my story is, okay. So of course, after I graduated from high school, I did go to college, and I graduated from Notre Dame de Namur University in Belmont. Mm-hmm. And that's in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I remember that I graduated, and of course, I needed a job. I thought at that time, I I need to get a 9-to-5 job. Oh, that's what I thought. It's I wanted to be a traditional person or whatever. And so I just but the thing was I didn't really know what to do with my life. So I was struggling. Because okay, what do I do with a job? So I remember I had a lot of temp jobs. I also took more classes at a community college, and it was it was a really frustrating time for me after college. But I remember that one of my mentors, she said hey, why don't you teach chess since you're so good at it? And I'm okay, fine. So I remember that it's like I remember like I put an ad on Craigslist, and so I'm like, okay, it's like I have to just give it a try. And one person did respond, and I remember like I got my first student, and it's like, hey, this is actually really nice. So I just remember like the first student, she lived in Palo Alto, so that was nice. And then it's like, hey, this seems to be working. Like maybe I can get more chess students. And I just remember this was a long time ago. When what happened was I did get I was on the Stanford University email list, and I remember that this one woman, she sent a group email out, and she was looking for a chess teacher to teach her kids. And I remember like I responded to that email, and I said like, hey, I'm Lauren. I live in Menlo Park. I'd be happy to teach her to kids chess. And she said, okay, that would be great. So I remember like I taught her to kids in Palo Alto, and then it was word by mouth, and so I was able to get more students that way. So
yeah, definitely word of mouth for a chess coach is huge.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so it's like, so I've been teaching chess privately for the last 8 years, and it's been really fun. I teach kids and adults, the people of all ages, and I also have some students from like all over the country too. So it's been really fun.
When did you start with online coaching? Because I'm imagining at first when you were first coaching, you were doing live classes. And I'm used to that. I used to do that myself. I'd have, a lot of private students where I have to like drive a lot. And so I'm assuming you're doing some online coaching. Like at what point was that, like more recently, or have you been doing online coaching for a few years?
So I think I've been teaching online for 3 years now. I think what happened, I think like when I first started, it was definitely like in person, and it was a lot of driving because I would go from like house to house, but I also would teach libraries too. But I remember that I got, but yeah, I started, but yeah, some of my students are online. So I have one student in Wisconsin, one in Michigan, two in Seattle, and one in Boston. So it's
very cool.
I use Zoom.
Yeah.
To teach, and chess.com, and so it's fine because it's video chat, and then with Zoom I'm able they are able to use the mouse, so they're able to use the pieces too. So it's
very cool.
Yeah, it's fun. And I think the chess teaching is fun. I notice like people, like students have their own individual goals. So like some students like to play in tournaments, and some of them do not play in tournaments. So everyone is different. So
and it's good for a chess coach to be able to know that, because I remember when I had a bunch of students, you had those really serious-minded kids that loved tournaments and wanted to improve their rating, and then you had those kids that really just wanted to play for fun and they didn't want to be pushed towards tournaments. And then, as you know, we have those kids that they sort of enjoy chess, but the parents are the one that actually want them to play a lot of tournaments and improve their rating, and the kid doesn't really care too much. So then you have to have that conversation to, what realistically the goals are. So you've been doing coaching, but you've written 2 books. So what sort of inspired you to write your first book? What's the title of that book? I know you got a copy right there. And so what was the inspiration to start into that? Because I know that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of commitment, entrepreneurship, and you definitely have that. So kind of what was the motivation of starting on that?
Okay, so you asked me a bunch of questions at the same time. So, okay, so my first book is called 50 Poison Pieces, and you can buy this book on Amazon.com. This book came out in 2017. So that was 3 years ago. And I think what inspired me to write this book is because of my students. Because when I was teaching, I noticed that my students, like, they would often like make a move without thinking. And it's like, I want my students to think before they move. And also, I didn't know any books about poison pieces because oftentimes, when you're playing chess,
Yeah.
like poison pieces, like that's pretty common in the game.
It
And
sounds
so,
bad too.
yeah, so I figured like, oh my gosh, like I don't know any books that I'm talking about poison pieces. So it's like no, I'm gonna be the one who's gonna be writing about poison pieces. So what I did is I created 50 puzzles, and you have to figure out like why taking a piece is poison, because like sometimes you think like, oh yeah, taking this queen is a really good move because I'm up a queen. But again, you still need to think ahead. Like if so, like for example, I know like I think there's like one puzzle in here. It's like if you take the queen, then you end up getting checkmated. So yeah, so like taking the queen, not good. So, but it's 50 poison pieces. So it's like you have to figure out
and,
why.
and it's like another level of thinking for especially beginners, because they're sort of in the mindset of grabbing stuff is good, right? I'm ahead, I'm winning, and they have to think deeper that are there consequences to it, and then I have to see if there are some. One of the things that I loved about your second book was, and appreciate you. I know you sent me an advanced copy to take a look at it, and me coaching a lot of like beginner kids. My favorite students to coach are the ones that don't know anything, and you start from the beginning. That's personally my favorite student to have. But it's your book really deals with identifying a reason why you play your move, and that's what really attracted me to your book. So tell us about your second book. I love it.
Oh, okay. So my second book is called Queen for a Date: The Girl's Guide to Chess Mastery, and this book came out in January of 2020 on Amazon. So this book is new, and one of the reasons why I wrote this book is to inspire more women and girls to play chess, since chess is a male-dominated game. That's why there's a girl on the cover of this book. But if you're a boy or a guy, you can also benefit from this book too. That's really important. So the book, in this book, you get to play an entire chess game with Sophia, and this is Sophia. And Sophia, she's a beginner chess player. And this again, in this book, you get to play an entire chess game. I often feel like beginners, they don't know what a decent chess game looks like, or they don't know what to. I mean, maybe they will know some concepts, but I take the reader from like the beginning to the checkmate in this book. And what I do is I give the reader 3 choices for moves. So for example, like for the first move, I say like, okay, should you move the pawn to e4? Should you move the pawn to d3? Or should you move the pawn to a4? And then after they think about it, then they turn the page, and then and then I explain like the explanation why like this is a good or a bad move. And then in this book, you get, of course, like we go with an okay move or the best move. So we never go with a bad move because, of course, like in chess, you want to make good moves. So I think it's a good book. I think it's fun.
And how did you go through the process? I guess it's more. This question's more for when you did your first book. Like, I mean, I'm imagining you had to explore yourself. How do I publish a book? Like, what needs to be done in order to do that? Like, did you just learn all that on your own, or did you have help?
I did have help. So writing a book, it is a very long process. Lots of hard work. So I think with this book, I think it took, I think 2 or 3 years to write.
Wow.
But this book, lots of work too. I think this took maybe, I think 2 years. I think there's two ways you can go about publishing a book. So you can self-publish, or you can also go through a publisher. So with my two books, I did self-publish, and it's a lot of work. So basically, what I did is I wrote the manuscript in Microsoft Word, and then after that, once I'm finished, then of course, like, I had to hire an editor. So with both books, I had to hire two editors. So one editor would just make sure like the chess explanations were correct, and make sure like my explanations were like, yeah, were right. So I had to hire like a chess master for that.
Right.
So I know, and then the other editor I had to write, the other editor I had to hire was to make sure like the grammar was perfect.
Right. That's the thing with chess books. You need two. You need one for the chess and one for the for the grammar.
Yeah, so it's a lot of proofreading, lots of proofreading, and after that, then I had to hire a graphic designer.
Right.
To do the book layout, because again, the manuscript is in Microsoft Word. So I had to hire a graphic designer, and then she did the page layout
And the placement of the diagrams and
yeah, like for like yeah, like with the 50 poison pieces, like I mean there was like logos. So she had to make sure like the diagrams and
Right.
text it has the look good. And I mean, if there's people in the audience, if they're interested in writing a chess book, I'd be happy to give them guidance.
And
If you have any questions.
and just so you know, in the Twitch chat, I've put your website and the Amazon link to your two books. So anybody who watches it, they'll have access to the information there.
Yeah.
Tell me like a little bit about your work. Oh, and thank you, by the way. I remember I went to an event you were doing in Cupertino, so I got you to sign my copy of Queen for a Day. So thank you for that. Tell us about the work you do in promoting women and girls chess, because I mean you're a big advocate for girls playing more chess, and was that just a natural extension of like everything you've been doing, or did at some point did you say this is a cause that I really want to be a part of and do my part in?
Right. So I think I think since chess is a male dominated game, I'm just happy to be like a women chess teacher. But I realize like teaching chess like one-on-one, like that's good, but I wanted to reach out to more people. So that's why I wrote the Queen for a Day, to help like inspire more women and girls to play chess. I think like so I think like in the future, like not anytime soon, but I wanna continue to write more chess books for girls and women. But again, it will benefit men and boys too. But like I also want to just continue to maybe help organize events too. Like the one like in Cupertino, I think that was last year. I think we invited. I don't know what happened. Was like we invite. No, I think 2 years ago we invited Fiona Matusi from the movie Queen of Catway.
Yeah.
And that was very inspirational because I think her story is she's a very strong person. But like yeah, I wanted to continue to just like be part of like these chess events too. I remember like last year, the city of Cupertino, they were having a chess event, and so I remember like I did help organize it, and they were saying it's like, hey, it'd be really nice to get some top chess girls to play chess. And I know like I remember like playing in the all women chess tournaments at Berkeley Chess Club, and I remember like, hey, I think I know some girls who might be interested. So I remember that last year I invited Rochelle Will,
Yeah.
Ree, Ree, and then Anika, well,
Yeah. Roger.
Moorhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I remember that I remember like Rochelle, she came. Oh, also Amya too.
Yeah. 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 Oh,
Yeah,
no.
so I remember,
Vidyarthi.
yeah, so yeah, I invited them, and it was fun. So I hope it's like I hope that they inspire. I hope like that would help inspire more girls to play chess. So
And all of those players play on the mechanics in the online community,
yeah,
so it's a lot of fun. Rui, Annika, Omya, and all of them.
yeah,
Yeah, very nice. So you also have been. It's not streaming, but like I mean, you record yourself playing, and then you put the videos up. They're a lot of fun to watch. Tell us a little bit about that. Was that sort of inspired just because of the pandemic we are now, or had you been doing that before that?
I think it's because of the pandemic. Because one thing I realized is like since I mean before the pandemic, I was driving all over the place, and since the pandemic started, I'm not driving anywhere. And because of that, I have a lot more time. And since I have more time, I figure like, hey, like maybe I can do maybe I could start like a YouTube channel. So I remember, I think like 2 months ago, I started my YouTube channel, and I started this YouTube channel for beginner chess players. So I think when I first started, like I started to like just like record myself to play chess. Like I would play like blitz online, and it was like, oh, this is really really fun. Lately, for the last month, I've been posting videos of like chess puzzles too.
Is that Chess by Lauren, by the way?
Chess by Lauren.
Okay.
Yes. I like to create chess puzzles for beginner chess players. So right for the last month, I've been posting a puzzle up on my YouTube channel. So and I think beginner chess players, I think I hope I'm sure that they will find some kind of value to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, it's fun. So I strive to upload I strive to post a puzzle every single day. So it's fun. It's fun. So
And just what's your general take about just chess now? I know a lot of people can't wait for live tournament play to come back, and and even that might take a little bit of time. But like kind of what's your take on everything that's been happening now with like just online chess and not having over the board play? And so what's it been like for you?
I think like what's going on right now, I think that it is really sad. Like what's going on. I think that I think we're going through a difficult time. But I think with chess, I'm glad that people are able to play chess online, and I think that's good. I mean, that's better than nothing, right? So I think yeah, playing in chess online. I know like I know like the Mechanics Institute. You guys do a really good job organizing tournaments online. So
Thank you, and well, let's give props to Judith, who organizes a lot of this stuff. She's in the car, but I know she's either listening to this or she'll watch it later. But yeah, it's been nice for us to do these online events, because for us, we really wanted to keep the chess community together, and we knew that people would be home, so it's fun for us to see a lot of people that we know and are the regulars keep coming out and playing chess. And thank you, because you've been coming out and playing with us since the beginning when we started doing this. So it's been a lot of fun. We look forward to having you every Tuesday.
thank you very much.
So is there anything else you kind of want to jump in and plug? I've promoted the YouTube, the books, the website. And you deserve it. I mean, you're sort of a chess coach everyone knows, and I've always been excited when you've been somewhere to do events, and when you've done events, I've tried to come out
Yeah.
And it's fun. The only thing is I'm remembering at the amateur team one year, my team got to play against your team,
Yeah.
and we lost. So congratulations, you guys won.
Thank you.
But
But I mean, no, I remember that you played against my sister, but my sister actually didn't play too well against you.
yeah, I think she just blundered in that game because I know she's a strong player, but the thing I remember more than that game was I remember watching your game because you were playing Rich Willis, which is a good friend of mine. And I just remember you guys were in a time scramble, and you were standing up, and you were like really intense, and you won. And I was like, wow, that was pretty impressive. And that win, I think, clinched the point for your team. But it's fun to watch you play because you're very intense when you're really locked in. So yeah, it was fun to watch.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Amateurs West tournament. That's a fun tournament to play in because it's an open tournament and you play with a team. So it's a very unique tournament to play in. And I think the fun thing about the tournament is like in one round you could be playing against a master. And another round, you could be playing against like a 1,000. So you're playing people like all strengths. So
right. Yeah. I mean, and that's not far from the truth. Where you can be paired up against even a grandmaster in one round, and then the next round you're playing 1,000 level player. Right? You just never know, and it's fun. And I know a lot of people use the Amateur West as sort of a friends getting together weekend, right? And they come out. So we were happy we were able to organize it, and we're actually lucky that we were able to do it before all the closing happened with the pandemic. I think it was only like 2-3 weeks later that everything shut down. So I'm glad we were able to squeeze it in.
It was fun. I thought this year's tournament, Amateurs West tournament, it was a brilliant game, and I thought like that was a really nice place to have it because I thought that the hotel, it was really nice, but I also noticed like it is really close to the walkway.
Right.
In meal place, so it's like if you want to like in between rounds, like if you needed to take a break, you could also like just take a walk like on the walkway, and then you could also see like the airplanes land.
Right, because we're right next to the airport.
It was really nice.
And it's like in a good sort of middle place for people that live in the South Bay, and then people live in the city. Right, you can just get out there. So. Well, Lauren, thank you very much for joining us. It's really exciting to have you in the chess community, and you doing everything you do. And Judith and I will do everything we can to promote what you do. And we really enjoy having you play in our tournaments and just be a part of our chess community. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Abel. It's really fun to be playing in the Mechanics Institute chess tournaments, and again, the people in the tournaments, they're very tough. So it's been very very fun, and yeah, thank you. Yeah, so thank you so much for organizing that.
No, absolutely. And I will see you on Tuesday night for round 3, the Tuesday night marathon.
Sounds good. And thank you so much for having me here today.
Absolutely. And we'll post that link in the newsletter that comes out tomorrow, and we'll put it up on our YouTube channel as well.
Sounds good. I'm gonna once you put it on the YouTube channel, I'm definitely going to link it to my YouTube.
Fantastic. And I can tell you right now, because a lot of people watch these interviews later because it's at noon, but I can tell you that our interview has been by far the most watched in terms of the number of live views. So awesome. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome, Abel. Have a good day.
You too. Take it easy. Thank you, everyone, for joining the Mechanics Chess Social. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.